Is it on? I call the meeting of the Tell City Troy Township Trustee Board on this Monday, October the 6th, 2025. We will now stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Yes, I will turn this over to Steve Owen.
Okay, so first I'd like to thank J.R. Flynn and Chrissy Frey for coming to our meeting. Two of our three board members. I'm not sure where Wendy is. It's a possibility that she could. I would also like to thank my excellent clerk, Leanne Gilhausen, for also attending and all the work she put in to help prepare the handout materials for these two meetings. We have two meetings tonight. We have a meeting that's required by law, a budget discussion meeting, has to be held in public. Thank you, JR, for persisting and insisting that we had to hold it in public, and you were correct. So,
did you hold those meetings that you said you were going to hold and just told me that if I didn't want to show up, don't show up?
No, I sent you an email saying you were correct.
Okay, yeah, after about the fourth email that I sent you saying I would review it, and you asked me to, you were going to go ahead and do it unless I could show you the specific law that said that you could not do them in private, but then you changed mine. So I didn't know, because you had planned a meeting between the time that you sent me the email. You didn't have one? Okay, great. Thank you.
No, because you sent, we didn't have a meeting, and also I sent you an email to that effect.
Well, it didn't say that you didn't have them. You said you wouldn't continue or you wouldn't have them. So
okay.
I didn't know if you had already done one or not. So if you didn't, that's great.
No, so we did not hold a separate meeting to discuss this because by statute, we're not supposed to. Right?
Or any meeting. They all have to be open. Yes.
Yeah. Any meeting between more than one person.
Yes.
You can have a meeting with one person.
Well, you cannot even do it by email or by phone. You can't discuss things. You cannot do that. You may say that at the next meeting, we're going to have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't say, well, what do you think about this or that?
Well, again, I'm not sure. I need to find the statute and read it really carefully, but my lawyer says you can have a meeting with one person. Now, if you come to the office and say, hey, Steve, I want.
And then you could call someone else in and say, hey, Steve, let's do that. And then get the third person and say, no, that would be a chain. And so.
No, you can't do that.
Okay, good. We understand each other.
Can't do that. Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
All right. So the first meeting is to discuss the budget. And I have handouts that Leanne has passed out. And basically, I'd like to go to the first page to start. And you'll notice, you'll notice 2025 and 2026. And you'll notice that I'm asking for an increase of 1.3%. And I will show you where the increase occurs. If you'd like to ask questions on that first page, you can, but we'll get into the detail in the next one.
It may be very confusing for us, Steve, because this is the first that we've seen this.
I understand.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, so ask questions.
I don't know that I'll have questions, and then we will erase this one in time, because I have one question first.
Okay.
Did you go back and read the minutes to the meetings that we've had, like 6 months prior to you?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay. So let me just advise you that in the past, over and over again, we asked that the trustee send us by email whatever was going to be the agenda for the meeting and what we were going to be discussing, so that we could have a good idea. Like, we review the bills, we review that as part of our oversight for this, as the elected officials on this.
So you would like to receive this information?
We have asked that multiple times.
Okay.
And the last, I don't even know if we got that before the last, Rihanna resigned as the last appointed, trustee. But that's what we were asking for 6 months to 8 months, whatever. We got month after month that we would hold a meeting and say,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
we need to get this at least by the Friday. It was agreed upon, it was put in the minutes. And that's what I expected anyway. I don't expect to come in here cold and see a budget. How long did you spend working on this budget?
A long time.
A long time, but you are going to expect me or Christie to review it in the next 10 minutes or whatever and say, go for it.
Well,
That's kind of unrealistic.
okay, I regret that I didn't send it to you. I did
I do
send
too.
some other stuff to you.
I looked through that,
Okay.
appreciate that, but is that on the agenda? I don't have
No,
an agenda.
I'm still working on this today.
Okay.
So the numbers changed today. But that's not a great excuse.
Okay.
I will do better next time. Because I can tell it's important.
It is. I mean, Christie, is it important to
Yes,
you?
and
Do you have a chance to look at something before you have a chance, we're expected to discuss it or vote on it or come up with questions? So it's like,
Well, we'll get into the details. It's pretty simple in here, but that's all right. I understand the scolding and I'll do that.
all right, and I will ask you this before you say, okay, you're gonna increase it by 1.3%.
Yep.
Because you just mentioned that, this is the first time seeing of it. Yep. Have you met with the council as far as knowing what money you're gonna get? So our budget
I
could
don't
actually,
even know how to do that.
so our budget could actually decrease from what we have. But I think we're getting the cart before the horse. Okay, go ahead.
Fair enough.
you said you wanted the Friday before.
At least by the Friday before we have a Monday meeting.
Okay.
And that has been in the minutes
Yeah.
over and over
It
again,
was.
because that's not unrealistic to say, okay, what's our Monday meeting gonna be? Where's the agenda? And what we wanna see the financials before we come to it. And we have learned by example that we need to review those things,
Okay,
by bad example.
okay. I think that's fair criticism. That's all I can tell you,
All right.
That water's under the bridge, man. We'll do better next time. Okay, so you'll notice that the increase, occurs in the township assistance and the fire department. So, okay, just for the sake of the public, if nothing else, you guys know we have a budget and it has 4 sections. It has rainy day, it has the general fund, it has township assistance, and it has the fire department stuff. Okay, so we'll look at those particular components from the following page. And what I tried to do was to illustrate to you that I haven't changed the budget from 2025. If you look at the far right column, all those zeros mean there's no change. Okay, there was a change. So if it's red, that means it was increased. If it's green, that means it was decreased. So you'll notice there was a change in the office, internet, and phone, and there was a change in the
Yes.
liability insurance, and that equals up to the reduction of the office rent budget for the general fund group. And so the general fund group, if you go down to the bottom line, did not change, 47,750, 47,750. So the reality was I'm not sure why it was budgeted at $59.40 for office rent. And I talked to the landlord and he doesn't intend to increase the current rent and of $4,500. $450. And so I decreased the budget, but I kept that money in here because we intended to use some of it for the office internet and phone. So that's my general fund proposal. Any questions or comments? Again, I
So,
really don't get this.
Do you have a question as far as why we have the 2 pages and they'll end up being totaled, or
Push 2 pages there.
There's-
One is the general fund, and then the next one is the
Township assistance.
so the clerk's salary is in the township assistant fund and not in the general fund?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's how the budget, I mean, that's what was left of it.
Okay,
I think it's strange also. Although I guess you could say the clerk's work is quite often in the township assistance area. So maybe that's why I think it. Okay, so the township assistance group is a little different than the general fund because what we've done is we've observed the trends, okay? So if you look at, let's just go down to public utility, that long red bar.
yes.
Well, the budgeted for 12,500 in 2025, and we've already used 17,812, and we put the brakes on it. We only allow $100 for electric bills, and we have like 15 electric bills in a row where people are getting slammed with their electric bill. As an example.
Mm-hmm.
So you're expecting a 92% increase in, this is
In
electric
that category.
that we provide to township,
Yeah,
to
honestly,
the public.
JR, if we could double our township assistance. We have artificial constraints on township assistance. We say you can't come back for another 6 months.
Mhm.
And then we say you can only have 100 of utilities, and that your utility bill might be $400. So, holding it down to almost the same as it was last year, if you look at the bottom line. We have, the need in our township is certainly higher than that. And we've shifted the budget over to the public utilities, where the electric and actually in Hamilton, the water bills have walloped us.
Yeah.
And that's putting a restriction on it. It's been quite interesting.
I noticed it in my bills, how much the water bills are and the electric bills are and stuff. It's very unsettling for everyone.
Yes, it's bad. See, if you're poor and something happens to you, like, I don't know, you get kicked out of the apartment you were in with your mate, or your car breaks down, and you're making less than $1,000 a month on disability, or however it is you're getting your money. It's tough. And we get a lot of it. It really opened up my eyes to take this job, to see how many people. And by the way, we're going to talk in our budget, in our board meeting, about how many people we get out of Charlotte, which I sent out on Friday too. Okay, so if you just go down through there, all the greens, we're reducing what we're asking for. And we're piling that over into the public utility mainly. And when you add it all up, it comes up to a couple thousand more, which is 2.7% in this budget category in township assistance. And entertain, I know that's an increase when we got all this other decrease stuff going, but I'll entertain any comments or questions or challenges on that. Now, let me say, we have a certain budget number, which we provided in June when we were drinking from a fire hose, and I didn't know what the heck's going on. I still only know about half of what's going on, as JR just pointed out. But that number was a lot higher than this in township assistance, and I reduced it. And we can reduce it, but we can't make it higher than that first number. So if the board pushed me to reduce this, it's like, we can do it. But this is the number I thought was fair.
Well, we'll need to see, and I recommend that you do touch base with the, the council or,
How do I set that up? Just go talk to them and say I want to show them my board, my budget?
do, as well as, maybe those, I don't know if those numbers are in yet or not, but I would start with something else that we had asked for 8 months, 10 months, was for the trustee or the clerk to get with Chris Hammock and set up emails for us, because we should be using a, government email system. Have you done that?
Okay, well, I've done it for the two of us, but
Oh, we were doing it for all 3 board members.
Okay.
So if you've done that you've made more progress than was done by the last 2.
Yeah, well,
trustees.
I get on.
And you'll agree with that, won't you, Chris?
Yes, I will, yes.
We've been asking for that for a very long time, and I don't know if I have to do it myself, but if you've been able to do it with Chris Hammock, or not, and get Anjan to do it, then yes, please, for each of us.
We'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Would you make a note?
And then we can communicate through
Make a note.
government, lines instead of our personal
Sure, sure.
things.
Sure.
Good.
We'll do it. We're getting on top of things. It's
Yes.
kind of like we've been underwater and we're coming to the top.
Yeah.
So we had 2 strong notes there from JL. All right. Let's go to the last page. This is the fire thing budget, and we got an indication for Anderson Fire Group that they're gonna increase their ask, but I'm not 100% sure. So this 49,000, it covers what I know is coming, but I don't know, there's a little uncertainty. So if they ask for more, I presume that next year we will do a reauthorization and ask for more money and see if we can get more money. I guess that's another thing that should go in front of council.
You may have to. We'll see what our budget is from them to begin with, so.
Okay. All right, so that's my proposal. Again, it can be reduced, but not increased over that original number we gave, Robert Norris in June. Any thoughts? More
Yes,
thoughts?
well, yeah, one thought, unless, go ahead, Christie, if you have a thought.
No, go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, so, and this may be in our, agenda for what's our next meeting is, about our regular meeting here. But what do you consider a rainy day fund set aside for?
Well, last year it was 2,100.
What is the purpose of it?
Well, on the budget documentation, it says equipment.
Exactly, because, yeah, I'm glad you understand that, that is, but I was under the assumption it's like, besides providing the services to, people who are in need,
Yeah.
people from the community who are in need,
Yes, sir.
one of the main things is the fire department, because we divvy out the monies that come into this township and go to the volunteer fire departments that are within us, and they are all volunteer fire departments.
Right.
So I view that as a highly critical thing that we support, and fund for, and the rainy day fund is, so what if we, somebody needs a new fire truck or vehicle or whatever that's vital to providing fire support, suppression support for our communities, and we've rated our rainy day fund for things such as computers.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm disappointed in, with the last expenditure of computer systems, $5,000 for new computers.
Yep.
And you took the rainy day fund, and it was not discussed in a meeting. And I don't know how many other departments within the courthouse or wherever the county, the head will just go ahead and say, oh, I'm gonna move all our money around and raid the rainy day fund so that we can spend $5,000 on computers, knowing that we bought 2 new computers last year. So I have a problem with that.
I don't know that, but you know that.
Didn't Miss Brunner come in and show you around the office 5 days and pay her $500 for that?
Correct.
Okay, well, And, okay, if you had read the minutes from the past 6 months, you could have seen that she had purchased 2 new computers.
Yeah, our computer situation was almost dire. It was bad.
What was the problem?
Well, her computer was so slow, it hardly get her work done. And
Yeah,
And then we didn't have the email addresses. And then we had laptops where our eyeballs struggled to read laptops. So we wanted to improve our monitors so that we could
and you had
see our
Anjan,
work.
come in and help you through all that and explain to you what the problems were with those computers.
Correct.
Because I talked to him personally myself.
Yep.
And he advised me that it was mostly problem because the previous clerk, or not clerk, yeah, she was the clerk at that time. So the last clerk had all of her personal emails and information and
Well,
stuff
that was a small part.
Well, I got it from Anjan, and Anjan is a computer person, and he said that that was the problem, that he advised you of, he advised me of that being the problem, and he tried to clean it up, so,
That wasn't the only problem.
okay. But now you know
I
that
know
2
you-
new
you
computers were
showed
bought
me-
last year, and now you spent $5,000 on new computers this year.
Yep.
And rated the rainy day fund for it,
So we
so
won't
I'm
have
just
to, we
disappointed
won't
in
have to
that.
do it ever again.
Well, in the future, I would like you to bring those to this board and discuss it with us in a meeting before we decide that, okay, we need this for the office instead of a rainy day fund that could provide fire support or whatever.
Okay, so my understanding of our relationship is that I can make certain decisions
Yes,
as far as the funding that's in the budget, that is already approved in the budget. And you can give me certain advice,
yes.
but in the end, I'm not coming to you for permission. That's my understanding. Am I got a bad, flawed understanding?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check for sure. So,
Okay,
I mean,
I'm just letting you know that, yeah,
I'm just saying that,
I get it,
you know-
you're miffed I didn't talk to you first, so.
no, I'm not. I'm just, well, I am that, and you didn't talk to anyone, as far as I know. Christie didn't talk to you about the,
Well, he did mention to me that he was going to do that, but then we did say that we should probably talk about that. And then I think there were several emails sent, and before you know it, it was accomplished. So,
I'm
all right, I'm
pretty
just
much
making
attached.
there is. Yeah,
All right, I get this wasn't gonna come up, and I'm glad you brought it up.
yeah.
I'll.
So with,
Hey, one thing that's happened, I've tried to get you to call me and.
I know, but I don't want, because we had
And
that,
you never have done it. I mean, maybe we would have talked about that if you would have called me.
I don't work in
The road
town.
runs both ways.
I work out of town, and I would prefer to have the meetings and it be in the open instead of, discussing issues and making decisions or whatever about these, this office should be all public, not private conversations. I'm just telling you that. Okay,
Okay, well,
okay,
we have a different opinion
I know.
about you being able to come over and sit down and say, hey, Steve,
well, I do, but we do.
one person.
I don't work here during the week. I do not work in the town. I know
I
you
get
put
it.
in
I'm
your
just saying.
statement that you're so happy that, as a retiree, that you can have, this job, but I'm not retired yet, so I still have them, and I know Christy does too. So it's kind of difficult for us to get there.
I think I'm
business
becoming
hours.
less and less happy all the time.
Well,
But that's all right. I get the direction. I'll try to inform it, but it'd be nice if you at least reply to my efforts to contact.
but I will not discuss the business, except at the meeting.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, let's get back to the budget. Are you guys okay with me proceeding with this budget?
With the caveat that you check with county council or, even with Chris Hammock or where the money's coming from, because if you intend to have an increase and we get a decrease, then you're back to the drawing board.
Yeah, well, we know where we can cut it. Can you make a note?
I already did.
Great,
Okay.
When you said it a while ago.
thank you. But then, yeah, just,
Okay. Very constructive advice from J.R. I appreciate it. That would then conclude, Trustee and J.R., the budget discussion meeting. You guys are, we'll get into this agenda.
Okay,
You want to do the pledge of allegiance again?
okay, should I call this meeting, the first part here to
Yeah.
Yes.
make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Well, you forgot to mention the budget approved meeting on Wednesday, October 22nd.
Yeah, well,
Did
okay,
you cancel that?
we can mention that the budget adoption meeting is on, October 22nd, 5:00.
yes, and it is subject to any changes that the council, when you show it to them.
And required by law.
Yeah.
By statute.
Okay, I second the adjournment.
All right, that's good, that's good conversation, I appreciate it. Well, you ready to do another call to order, or you want to?
Okay. I will call this meeting of the budget approval of October the 6th. The board meeting, I'm so sorry. October the 6th, Monday, at what time is it now, please?
It's 5:28.
5:28.
Do we have an agenda?
Yeah, she's gonna pass it out.
Okay.
She's afraid to pass it out now.
And we will now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, though.
All right. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you. You ready to go?
We're ready.
Okay, let me say that, now that JR has, my grandma used to say, read me my beads, on the, budget meeting, I thought I sent out a tentative agenda a while back, but we should have sent this out on Friday. Yeah, so we'll try to do that next time, do that. And you guys probably mentioned it at the last board meeting, but like I said, we were drinking from fire hose. The next board meeting, we're gonna do that.
So with Wendy not being here, did she typically bring the minutes from those last meetings?
She does, she's on the agenda.
So she is not happy. So you do not have a copy of the minutes from these meetings to be approved or whatever?
You sent them on our email?
She sent an email with the
Yes,
minutes.
yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is the agenda, item 3, review, revision, and approval of the agenda. If you guys have something to add, now's the time.
Well, Christie, do you know when she sent those minutes?
Oh,
2 weeks ago. Week and a half ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was on vacation all last weekend, so I was not even here, so.
Well,
Okay.
they're probably actually still on your email, though.
They're still there.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at it.
We'll get that .in.gov and then it'll be clear, it'll be straight right out. Okay. So we can't review the previous minutes. This is the agenda, it's gonna have to be on the agenda for us to decide whether we need to add anything.
Yeah.
We can add something at the end if there's something we haven't talked about. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would take us to number 5, which is Leanne's item.
Bank statements. These are the bank statements for July, August, and September. I sent you September's day because I didn't get it in time to get it done before Friday. Christie?
Yep.
And you have your copies, right?
Yes.
Okay, in July, we had a positive 2,973.42. And then we have our withdrawals debits of 15,955.07.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but I really don't wanna go through these item by item line.
Well, I did email them all out, so I did that last week, except for the September, I did it today, because I didn't get it in time.
And I received those that you emailed.
And you should have got them today. Well, whenever you came back from vacation, yeah.
So, yeah.
So you don't wanna go over them?
Like Saturday.
That's what I'm saying.
If we can just, put them on next, table them until next meeting, that would be good for me.
Okay. Okay, well,
I
that's,
make the motion that we table that item.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in on, say aye. Just again,
you know,
You got it easy.
yeah, table. I'll look at them.
okay. Well, that way, hopefully Chris will be here.
Yeah.
That takes us to item number 6. And Leanne can pass that out. So I thought it would be interesting to the board to see how it shakes out as far as township assistance. Because honestly, that's, we do give money to the fire department, but that's a pretty, twice a year for 4 fire departments. It doesn't take very long to do that. And we do check out the cemeteries. So once in a while, I go around with cemeteries. But we do township assistance pretty much every day here in the office. And this gives you the idea of how this has been running. I would start over on the total column on the right. And you can see, it's interesting to see that here in the summertime, I don't know that it's necessarily the fact that Leanne and I are doing it now, it could be, but it may be the fact that we have so many utility bills during the summertime. And so we have, if you look at 31 in July, 31 in August, and 33 in September. That's people who we gave assistance. Man, you jump in if I miss it.
No,
Okay. And then if you go over and look at the utilities, that's where all the action is. There's the electric company is cold-blooded. They want their money. And in the summertime, bills go up. Excuse me. And then you'll see that, so if you see how that breaks down, the counts and utility bills, some of those are water bills and some of them are electric. But most of the bills that are utilities are for electric. You add it up. So 21 in July, probably at least 14 of those are electric. So 23 in August, probably, let's call it 18. And then 29 in September, bills go back a month. So I guess, it's in the times when it's really hot, is when these guys started getting flooded.
can I correct you on something?
Sure.
When you're counting utilities, that is one whole bill for water, trash, everything,
Yeah.
and electric. And electric is from Tell City Electric, that column is. And the utilities, I wasn't quite sure what that column meant when you put that on.
Well, there were some that were actually water.
Yeah,
Some,
so we might want to
they
change.
actually name it as electric in the database.
Okay, I was just curious. What the utilities was.
Yeah, I just added up all the ones that were either water, electric,
Yeah, okay.
or total utilities. And then you can see a scattering of other items that we have in place. I don't know if you guys want to comment or ask any questions.
So we had a couple of funerals in August and September.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We had the young man who committed suicide. We provided funds for that.
So up to the maximum that we set.
Well,
So at least it was Yeah,
Yes, both of them.
all right, that's what we're, I need to know. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, if that's, enough discussion, we can go to our next item.
Okay.
And Leanne, you might mention what's happened with quarterly board discussion.
Go back to Chris.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So we chose dates, and Leanne, we had availability on all
Yes, I got with Nicole and we're on the books.
those dates. Now, if those dates are
These
problem
dates.
for anybody, then
Well, just, did you check to see, you know, the statutes that apply to the January meeting? Are we within that timeframe?
I believe that we are, JR, I
Okay.
think, yeah. But you know what, let's make a note on that. We'll go back and recheck.
Kind of thought that had to be done
The first week,
really soon in January, like
restructure. all
second,
that.
third, fourth or
I
something.
thought it was this month, and if it's that, then I'll make it.
We definitely have to check that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if it is true, then I'm good with not the 12th, but the 3rd or the 4th, right, JR? You would be too, right?
Yes.
Whatever date it may fall in there.
You know, it'll probably be, that 12th is a Monday.
I kind of feel like that 12th's too late.
I do too.
Okay,
I think we're, by law, we're required to have it quicker than that.
so maybe the 5th?
That could possibly be too late.
Okay.
I mean, right, JR? Am I?
You're right. We need to check on the January
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that tip.
I mean, it's very critical for that one, that meeting.
Yeah.
I do know that.
And if Wendy were here, she would know.
Yeah.
Because she knows about the other filings, the things you have to do as well.
Okay. All right, very good to know.
Are the other dates
Trustee
okay
John is not
for you
Or
all?
you-
tracked up to date.
I know.
Christie, are the other dates okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah, we just tried to pick the second Monday. That's what we did, so
Right.
I probably need to check those.
But I know on that January, we've always met right away, like right after, right after the new year.
Ready to go to number 8? So I wanted to mention this, we already talked about it, but JR was right. He had to, beat me with a club and get me to listen. And, we are, any meetings when I'm told by my lawyer, with more than one board member have to be in public. JR believes it's any meeting. I will look for the statute and see if I can define it. Okay. So thank you for that, Jay.
Okay, yeah, it's just about what you're discussing. It's, okay, never mind, go on.
I get it. Okay. New hours of operation and 9 and 10 and a sign, and you gotta pass out for that. I don't know if you guys are driven by the office lately, but that's what the window looks like. And you'll see that we have you wouldn't believe how many people I've said, people who live in Tell City their whole life, and I said, you know where the trustee office is? They said, no. People don't, we're pretty much a hidden entity. So we had a sign made that would go in the window. And that's the Troy Township trustee office sign. And then we also changed our office hours. That's the sign on the left. And put our names prominently there so people would know who they're talking to when they're coming in. And then on the right, it's hard to read, that's our
Mission statement.
abbreviated mission statement.
Okay.
So our main mission is to serve the citizens of Troy Township who are in urgent need. We try not to say the needy persons. We call that like insult someone. So people are. And you'll also notice, hard to see. I said, the sun was out, and I had a hard time finding a good angle. But there's a logo on the left of that mission statement.
Yeah.
It's
Something,
county
man.
with the 7 townships, and our township is in green.
Yeah.
That's our logo.
All right, so I have a question for you about it. It showed, it does give more days being covered. Are each of you working 3 days or?
Yes.
Okay, it's definitely,
I do
you're,
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. She does Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
But the truth, that's official, or the truth of the matter is, we've both been working 4 or 5 days. But we think that'll decrease as we get up on top of it.
yes. Yeah, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fine. And it's better, maybe better, but you really should check with one of the other, other counties or, giving you the name of the person at the state, as far as what the clerk can do. Okay? Because she cannot do all the duties you can do. She can't just take over the office, is all I'm saying.
Okay, so on Thursday.
You should check, yeah.
On Thursday, what she does is she does what she can, which is like prepare a purchase order. But then I have to sign it up front.
Yeah.
So she leaves me
He
stuff.
signs the checks.
She leaves me stuff to do on
Yeah.
Friday that we understand she cannot do.
Okay, good. Good.
And then I wander around like a duck on Friday trying to figure out how to do something. Yeah, thanks for that caution. All right, 9, 10. Now 11, I also sent out a standard, I think, and this might require, wait till the next board meeting.
I emailed this to you.
Yeah, I read through it. I read through this one.
And so what, I'll be honest with you, what we did, I talked to the Ohio Township Trustee, which would be Warren County. And the clerk there sent me a copy of their standard, and their standard was short. Our standard, if you try to read our standard, so much, I mean, it's confusing and also not exact as I want it to be in certain areas. And so we started with the Ohio Township model, but we changed it significantly to be our model. So there's some of that in there. Now, key page is on page, and I'll be glad for you guys to read this. It gets into some gobbledygook also. But if you go to the 4th page, which is actually labeled page 3. No, it's the 3rd, yeah. The 4th page because there's a cover page, but it's page 3. And you'll see the chart, the table.
It's got page 3 now.
Yeah. It is the 4th page in the second. So what we've done is try to make it simple and clear what it is that we're operating from as far as township assistance. And again, the 6 months between 8 grants, if you read the standard, as I understand it anyway, that's kind of an artificial construct that we put in there. Now, if you talk to Catholic Charities, they had the same 6-month thing. And if you talk to UCC, even to the United Church Christ, they have a 3-month thing. And the thing about it is, if they didn't have that, they would run out of money. And it's kind of the same thing for us. So that's the reason for that 6-month piece. Now, if you go down to help with your utility bill, that's the 4th item down, says $250. So that's in our chart, but right now we have a $100 limit because if we didn't, we'd run out of money. But what I would like to do is post this so people know ahead of time. That's what it is. We don't have to get into the back and forth about what it is. That's just what it is. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And we have gone through this page by page, verbiage by verbiage in years past.
You want to do that?
And no, we've done that. We did that, so, and I read through
Well,
this
it's short.
as you sent it to me, so it's good.
It's
And
short.
I know, I mean, so where do you propose, posting?
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
So,
Oh, that's,
Wait, he asked you, where do you
we're not, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we have a window glass there.
okay,
We're just supposed to right on the window.
sounds great.
All right. And JR and I agree, and I love it. Cool. And we'll agree next time, I promise. Okay, so I had no intention of going through this page by page today, but just to say, here it is. And this is, I proposed it for the, actually, I made a change, I forgot to change the cover page. From September of 2025 to December of 2026. That's my proposal. And that way I don't have to redo it again. Because I want the standard that we're using to be understood that it's our standard and it's clear and this is it. Not, we have about 4 or 5 different standards in the book, different years.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Clarity is what I'm any comments or questions about that?
Nope, I got that, I read that.
All right.
Yeah, so,
Yep.
You're good.
That's
We're down to
11, 12.
I think it takes us all the way to 14.
Yeah, I mentioned the $100 temporary limit and I also talked about the fact that we have a great need out there for assistance. Okay, this will show you that I pay attention a little bit to the previous board meetings. This was a lot of work for me, I had to read and comprehend. But this is a point that Wendy brought up. I don't know if you guys remember. She wanted to know about Zoom meetings. So I contacted the people who could give me some advice, and they told me how to get into the Indiana code. I now know how to get into the Indiana code with something else like that. And what I did was, the Indiana code, if you read this code, if you read Indiana 514, 1.5, 3.5, it's a lot of gobbledygook. You have to really focus to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of wording. It's a lot more than this wording. And I tried to boil it down to the salient points, which these 9 points are. So, for instance, one member of the board can do that in a meeting, not more than one. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And it goes on down through there. And maybe you guys want to look this over and talk about it at the next board meeting.
Before COVID, you could not vote on things via phone, but COVID came around and we had Zoom meetings, which you can see the person, know it's the person, they can vote. And that was set up for COVID. That may have reverted back, but whether they can, but what you have put here is that they can participate in any final action taken. So
According to the code.
yeah, I think you may still be right, although there's talk and they may have changed it to where, but I think you're right. I think if it's Zoom, not telephone, that you can vote.
Right, they'll see them.
You have to be able to see them, and then they can vote
And
also.
one person, like, let's say Wendy wanted to do that, so you can only do the 2 out of 4 meetings, you can't do it all the meetings, yes?
Okay.
Yeah, and so there's some limits on how often you take advantage of it. Normally, I think a person would do it whenever they had some reason why they couldn't.
Yeah, I see it's a roll call vote. That's, each person has to call their name and they say yea or nay.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
So, again, I hope this demonstrates that I paid attention in the board meeting.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I feel really good today. We worked hard on this and told my wife, I think I came up above water today. Because another thing I learned today, and I had it on the agenda, uploads to DLGS, I learned how to upload certain documents to the Gateway website.
Okay, I have a request
Okay.
that you get with whoever runs our county site, whether it's Chris Hammock or who, and put your name on there now, instead of, when I go to it, we don't even see Rihanna's name, we still see Jenny Broder coming up
Okay.
as your Cal City Troy Township trustee.
100%. I
I've
saw
seen
the
that.
lines of that, they supposed to have it down there.
Okay.
He's been out of town, all around, I sent him another text today. So, yeah,
We need to do that.
we'll finish that out, yeah, I agree.
Great, thank you.
I will say that I went on, on the Google and pulled it up, and it says comments, so I made a comment that it needs to be changed, and it never has been changed. And I gave Steve that.
Yeah, I tried to do it, check it,
So I don't,
Yeah, it's above us.
I wasn't sure who did it, so I didn't send it to any.
Could be, but, it could be somebody in the courthouse.
But,
Company with notes too.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, so that leads me to the end of the items that I had. I would, turn it over to you for other items you have.
well, I have no other comments. How about you?
Good.
Yeah, all right, motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second?
All right, very good. Now, my goal is to make J.R. proud.
All right. Got a couple things to do. Get your name
It's gonna
on
be
the
tough.
list. No, it's not. And feel free to reach out to these, other folks that, like we mentioned last time in the meeting, that you talked with somebody, gave them credit for, see if I can see his name here again. Bill Faulkner, was that,
Yeah, Phil Bolton?
for training and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's trying to be how to use it.
Trained you how to use, so he's been doing training. Did he charge us for the training? He did not.
No,
Yeah.
Okay,
not in a
see,
billion.
I don't think, and if you do it through the counties and through the state, they're not gonna charge us. You may have to go to like I did, I went to, Worth County, when they had, trainers from the state come down and train us on the book. And we have to have this giant book to learn all this stuff. I don't know why I'm doing this after me, but still, so please take advantage of those people instead of calling in a previous clerk, like Jenny. And so when you pay her $500, did she fill out a 1099? You need a 1099. She's no longer an employee, she's a vendor, so you need to get a 1099. Okay.
Joe Marsh.
Does the $600 rule not
No, well,
apply? Cause she already worked for us.
She already
In
worked
that
for us.
year.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you're right, JR.
So she is,
Yeah.
way over
Yeah,
500, $600.
yeah, oh, I get you there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why you need a 1099.
Well, okay, again, it's just an excuse, we were.
Yeah, I understand that, but had you read
You can drop in without any knowledge of what the heck they're doing.
Had you read it? the previous minutes, you would see that, we did not expect to hear and see her back in the office.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay,
Dylan's been a lot more sweet.
yeah, so that
He
is,
taught me, look what he taught me how to do the thing.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Robert Jones too.
Yeah,
What they
Robert
both
Jones,
have
I
shown.
want to coach him a lot.
there's lots of people who
Yeah.
will, freely help you.
Yeah, that feels been super. So, okay, we'll certainly do better next time.
We're adjourned, aren't we?
Yes.
We're adjourned.
And what time was that? I didn't wanna interrupt.
Oh, 5:53.
5:53, okay.
Great.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Great.
Are you driving back, JR?
Yes, I drive back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
You're working in Louisville?
And I'm still trying to
Thanks for coming.
recover from my flight.
You had a bad flight.
No, well, flight a while back,
Oh,
the next day.
really? Yeah.
Oh,
Not bad.
we feel sorry for you.
We feel really sorry.
A little jet.
Oh, why?
A little jet lag. A little jet lag.
there, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what I did